I'm Mark Abney, Peanut Entomologist at the University of Georgia, and here in a peanut field, and this is a field that was strip tilled into wheat residue. And one thing about residue in peanuts is that we usually get really low thrips populations where we strip till into some sort of grain residue. But as we come here, we see this gap in the plants where there's a space here where they're not growing like they're supposed to, and we look closer and we see that we've got some tomato spotted wilt virus. And that means that there were thrips in the field, because thrips are the only way that the virus is spread. So as you're walking through a field and you see a spot like this, even though we're not seeing, these peanuts are well past the time of having thrips injury, but now we start to see the secondary effect, which is probably even more important, and definitely more important than the thrips feeding, is the virus or the disease that they can spread. If you see, pull this plant up, you can see that it's stunted, it's growing, the leaves look mottled. There's some ring spots in there, which is characteristic, just the mottling. Very typical, severe tomato spotted wilt virus symptoms. Later in the season, these plants are going to compensate for that. You won't see this later in the season. This plant may not die, it may die, but at some point you're not going to know it's there. If you're looking, that's why when we do spotted wilt ratings, when we're trying to figure out what the incidence of spotted wilt is, a lot of times we'll come to a field 45 days after planting, which is probably about where this field is. And then we'll also come back and check later in the season, because some of these asymptomatic plants that aren't showing tomato spotted wilt virus symptoms, will begin to show symptoms later in the season. So just if you're walking through the field and you see stunted plants like this, know that even though the likelihood of high thrips or thrips injury in this field was actually low, because they used thiamet in this field and they had it planted strip tilled into this grain residue. There were still thrips here. There were still viriliferous thrips here, and they spread some tomato spotted wilt virus.